Bravo Mathis.
Well done, Mathis.
Bravo, c'était difficile de se présenter devant une telle scène.
It wasn't easy to be in front of such a full room this evening.
C'est très impressionnant en effet d'être ici. C'est une grande chance en même temps, donc on fait face à l'adversité.
Bon, Mathis n'a pas de micro, mais je vais
Mathis
vous dire en deux
doesn't
mots.
have a microphone,
Voilà. Donc,
but I just want to tell you that
Vas-y, tu peux essayer de parler plus fort.
Mathis, maybe you can speak a little bit louder.
Et de pouvoir du coup jouer devant un public qui est donc assez conséquent. Donc même s'il y a énormément d'adversité, on fait face. Et puis je suis content d'avoir pu jouer pour vous ce soir. J'espère que ça vous aura plu. Donc,
Merci beaucoup. Bravo.
Thank you. Well done.
Donc Mathis vient juste d'arriver à HEC.
Mathis has just arrived at
Donc, il a
HEC.
fait 2 années de préparation au lycée
At 2 years of preparatory school at lycée de
Rebourg,
first student from that school to be admitted to HEC.
Tu as fait le séminaire à Chamonix
And
comme tous les
you
premières années,
took
donc
part
c'est
in the
pas
back to school
décevant,
seminar
toi.
in
Et
Chamonix,
quelqu'un,
like the rest
je
of the
dirais,
first year
dénoncé
students,
personne, n'a-
where your talents as a pianist
a trouvé que tu avais des très
did
bons
not
talents de
go
pianiste
unnoticed.
et tu t'es entraîné depuis. Donc un grand bravo.
So well
C'est
done.
vraiment formidable de t'avoir avec nous. Merci pour ce cadeau que tu nous
Thank
offres
you
ce
very
soir.
much for this gift. Thank you for having
On se
invited me.
retrouve un peu plus tard.
Okay, we'll meet you a little bit later on.
Donc c'est vrai que démarrer à la
It's
salle
true
Gaveau
that
avec un
starting
morceau de
in
piano me
the
semblait
salle
absolument
Gaveau with
indispensable. Et donc je voulais
full
juste
audience.
à mon tour vous souhaiter la bienvenue, donatrice,
it's quite
donateur,
impressive, so I just want
représentant
to
des
say
entreprises
welcome.
partenaires, alumni, étudiants, professeurs,
I'd
collaborateurs
like to invite
d'HEC pour
everybody,
cette soirée
teachers,
annuelle de la Fondation. Merci
alumni,
beaucoup de votre présence ce
corporate
soir et je
patrons,
salue également les
to the
personnes qui
Foundation
vont nous
annual
suivre en
evening.
ligne.
Welcome to everyone in the room
Et je vais
tonight
dire un
and
petit
everyone
mot en
joining
anglais,
online
puisque
as
cette soirée
well.
sera, en français. Thank you all for being here tonight. This event will be held in French, so I invite all English speakers to scan the QR code that is on the screen or to click on the link that you should have received by email. Vous le savez,
As
nous
you
avons
know,
à cœur de nous réunir une fois
we
par
are
an
committed to
pour
meeting
partager
once
avec
a
vous
year
nos avancées communes, bien
to
sûr,
share our common progress
et
with
vous
you
exprimer toute
and
notre
to express
reconnaissance
all our
pour les
gratitude
projets concrets
for
que
the
vous
practical
faites
projects
avancer pour HEC.
that you enable for
Bien
HEC.
sûr, je pense que nous avons tous très
Of
présent
course, I
à
think
l'esprit
we are
l'actualité
very keeping in
particulièrement
mind
sombre,
the very
et
difficult
nous faisons
news
tous le vœu
that we
d'un
have
arrêt
at the
rapide de la
moment,
spirale de violence à laquelle nous
and
assistons.
the spiral of violence that we
L'école
are
s'est
living through.
exprimée en ce sens
The
auprès de
school has
ses étudiants, ses
spoken
collaborateurs et a
to
réaffirmé
its students
sa
in this
conviction profonde que
vein
l'éducation et le
and
savoir sont de
confirmed
puissants
its
remparts
belief
face à l'ignorance
that
qui mène à la
education
haine
is
de
the
l'autre.
strongest weapon against ignorance that
Avec
leads to
130
violence.
nationalités sur le campus,
With
vous imaginez bien
130
que le vivre
nationalities
ensemble
on
est une réalité de
campus,
chaque instant.
living together is a reality that we live
C'est vrai qu'en
through
ce
at every
moment,
moment.
le programme
At the
HEC
moment,
Imagine
the
Fellow que nous
HEC
portons ensemble depuis
program
2 ans
has
pour nous illustre
been
parfaitement cet état d'esprit et la volonté de
working for the
l'école
last 2
de
years to
contribuer à son
demonstrate
échelle
exactly
à
this
plus de paix dans le monde.
attitude
Mais si nous sommes réunis
and
ce
our
soir,
desire
c'est
for
aussi parce
peace
que
in
nous
the
sommes
world. And if
convaincus
we're here
qu'HEC peut faire
together,
partie de la
then
solution
it's because
et peut
we
avoir
believe
un
that
impact
HEC can be
positif sur le
part of the
monde.
solution. It can have a
Et pour
positive
regarder vers
impact in the
l'avenir.
world and
Avec
look
toutes les
towards the
équipes,
future.
Avec
With
Olivier
all the
Sevillia,
teams that are here this
nous voulons
evening,
vous
with
redire
Olivier
à quel
Sevillia,
point votre soutien
I'd
est
like to say
essentiel
how
pour nous aider à
important
aller
your
plus loin.
support is
Et j'appelle Olivier
to
Sevillia,
allow us
président de
to
la
move
Fondation.
forward. And to do this,
À
I
nous
would
rejoindre sur scène.
invite Olivier Sevillia to join me on stage.
Bonsoir Delphine et
Alors,
Good
merci
evening,
beaucoup
Delphine.
pour tes messages auxquels
Thank
je
you
souscris
for your
évidemment
message to which I
pleinement.
wholeheartedly
Bonsoir à toutes et à
subscribe.
tous.
Good evening, everyone.
Alors, Olivier, nous étions réunis il y
Olivier,
a un
we
an, nous
met
avons fait un point,
last
et je pense
year,
que c'est important, comme chaque année, que nous
And I
fassions un
think
point
that
sur ce
each
qui
year
s'est
it's
passé dans l'année
important that we
écoulée
look
et là
back
où nous
over
en
the
sommes
year and
avec
see
avec la
what's
Fondation,
happened
donc,
with
je vais faire
the
peut-être
foundation.
un update assez concis, évidemment, mais précis quand même.
And
Précis quand même.
to be as accurate as
Écoutez, la
possible
Fondation
about that.
HEC, grâce à vous, va bien.
The HEC Foundation,
Même très bien.
thanks to you, it's in a good
On
place,
est,
a
dans
very good
notre
place, I'd say.
quatrième année
We're in the
sur
4th
5
year out of
de la
5
campagne Impact
in
Tomorrow,
the
qui, je vous le
Impact
rappelle,
Tomorrow
vise à
campaign,
lever
which
200
we're
millions d'euros de
aiming
pledge,
to
ce qui n'a
raise
jamais été
200
fait par un
million euros,
établissement,
which has never been
d'enseignement
done by
supérieur
a
en France.
further education
Et
establishment
on
in
est sur la bonne
France.
trajectoire.
And
Voilà,
we
on est sur la
are
bonne
on
trajectoire
target.
pour pouvoir se retrouver dans un an
In 1 year's time, I hope
à vous annoncer une très
that
bonne
we'll be
nouvelle.
able to announce some really good
très
news. I'm
optimiste. Si on
very
regarde l'année
optimistic about
2022,
that. If we
peut-être un peu
look
plus
back at
précisément, en
2022,
2022, grâce à vos
thank you
dons,
to your
on a pu
donations.
à la fois
We were
alimenter
able
le fonds
to
d'endowment
fund
de la fondation, qui sont des quasi-fonds propres en fait pour l'école, et dépasser les 100 millions
school
d'euros de fonds
funds
propres, et financer
itself
13
and
millions d'euros de projets pour
fund
l'école,
13
qui
million
ont
euros of
permis,
projects for the school.
50% étaient pour l'égalité des chances, on va
50%
parler,
went
bien sûr,
towards
ce soir.
equality and
30%
diversity
pour la
programs,
recherche, dans
30%
des activités de
towards
recherche de l'école pour
research,
l'aider à avancer
to move research forward
dans ce domaine, et
in
puis
this
20%
sector,
pour la
and
pédagogie
20% towards
et aussi
teaching and
l'innovation, c'est-à-dire
innovation.
l'incubateur. Vous savez qu'HEC
The
fait
HEC
des choses
incubator,
absolument formidables
as
dans
you
le monde
know,
de
does
l'entrepreneuriat.
some absolutely fantastic
Donc,
work.
oui, on a fait
So
une très très belle
yes,
année
we've
grâce
had
à
a very
vous,
good year
et on est
thanks
sur une
to
belle
you,
trajectoire.
and we're going in the right
Et
direction.
si peut-être on regarde un peu en arrière
And maybe if we look
et on prend un peu de
back,
recul par rapport au rôle de la Fondation, comment tu décrirais pour les
on the
personnes
role of
notamment
the
qui ne connaissent pas bien la
foundation,
Fondation,
how would you
quel rôle elle
describe it
joue
for
pour
people who
l'école
maybe don't
aujourd'hui?
know very well what role it
Je
plays
parle
for
un
the
peu sous le
school?
contrôle aussi bien sûr d'Eloïc et puis
Well,
du conseil
I'm also
d'administration
speaking a
de
little bit
l'école,
under
auquel j'ai la chance
the role of
d'appartenir également.
Ludovic, who is the
Franchement, la
administrative role in
fondation
the
HEC,
school,
grâce à vous
but
tous, est devenue, je pense, un
the
pilier
role of
finalement
the
un des piliers de la
foundation
stratégie de
has
l'école.
become one of the key
Faut quand même
strategies
rappeler un certain nombre de choses
of the
qui,
school, thanks to you.
certains savent, mais
Some
c'est pas
people
toujours
may
très clair dans
already know,
l'esprit de
but it
tous.
may not be very
Je pense
clear in
qu'il faut,
everybody's mind. I think we have to
rappeler
remember,
d'abord
first of all, that at
a des
HEC,
résultats exceptionnels.
we
Les
have
rankings le
exceptional
montrent, année après
results year after
C'est
year.
extraordinaire dans
It's
toutes les catégories du
absolutely
jeu.
amazing
HEC
in
fait un boulot
every
extraordinaire
category.
et
HEC
vraiment,
has
je suis
some
très
quite
admiratif du travail que
extraordinary
font, Eloïc et ses
rules,
équipes.
results, and I'm
C'est absolument extraordinaire.
absolutely
Quand je
in
regarde
admiration
l'impact HEC
of
dans le
the
monde de
impact
l'entrepreneuriat,
in
je crois
terms
que ça
of
fait notre fierté à
entrepreneurship.
tous. Vraiment, il y a un
It's
impact sur
something that we can
l'entrepreneuriat
all
qui est
be
absolument
proud of.
exceptionnel.
We
Et en
have a
même
really
temps-
strong impact,
et en même
and
temps,
at the same time,
HEC, c'est aussi
at
un miracle
HEC,
permanent.
it's also a permanent
m'explique.
miracle. Let me explain what I
HEC,
mean by this.
c'est vrai,
It's
HEC
true.
une
HEC
institution
is
d'intérêt
an
général.
institution of common
Non-profit.
purpose, non-profit.
HEC n'a aucune
we have
subvention
no
publique,
public
contrairement dans ce
funding
pays aux écoles d'ingénieurs ou à d'autres catégories
any
d'écoles.
longer, which is quite unusual in
HEC
France.
se bat contre les meilleures institutions
HEC
mondiales.
is up internationally
Okay.
against the best schools in the
évidemment,
world.
Franchement,
And
chapeau. Et pour
quite
être très
honestly,
clair,
well
les frais de
done.
scolarité ne couvrent pas du tout,
The
loin
tuition
s'en
fees
faut, les
don't
besoins d'HEC.
cover the costs of
Donc, ce que nous
education
faisons
at
tous
all.
ici
And so
collectivement
what
pour
we are
HEC
doing
est
here
absolument
collectively for
C'est
HEC
vital. On donne à HEC
is
les moyens
giving
d'aller
HEC
plus loin
the
dans
means to
l'excellence,
go further
de
in
se
terms of
bagarrer dans la
excellence,
compétition mondiale,
to
d'attirer les
be
meilleurs
competitive
étudiants du monde,
on the world
et
stage,
aussi, quelles que soient leurs origines sociales, géographiques.
bring in
Donc,
the best
je pense qu'il est
students in the
vraiment
world
important,
from
je veux
any
pas être trop solennel,
background.
parce que tout
And
ça,
so I think
mais je m'aperçois, moi,
we're-
au fil des années, ça fait
I
4
think
ans maintenant que
I've been
m'occupe
here
de
for
ça,
4
à quel
years,
point
and I see year on year
HEC
to what
seulement
extent
a besoin, mais
HE
mérite
not only
qu'on la
deserves,
pousse
but
dans cette compétition internationale, parce
but
que ça nous rend
deserves
fiers.
to
Quand
be
vous donnez
in
à
the
HEC,
role
vous
that
aidez
it's
l'égalité
in.
des chances, vous aidez la
HEC
recherche,
gives
vous aidez
equality
à
of
avoir un impact
opportunity.
positif sur le monde.
It has a
Et
positive
quelque part,
impact
ce que
on
nous
the
faisons
world
tous
through its
aussi, c'est
research, and what we
renforcer notre
all
marque,
do as
parce que
well
HEC nous
is
rend
to
fiers.
strengthen
Et
the
quelque part, on
brand
reçoit aussi en
that we are
retour
proud of
une
as we
valorisation de la marque qui
receive
nous profite à tous, puisque nous en sommes diplômés.
in return,
Donc,
because we are all graduates from HEC. So I'll
oui,
stop
la
there.
fondation est
But
très
for me, the
importante.
foundation
D'ailleurs,
is really
pour être très clair,
important, and I just want to be
quand on prend un
clear
peu de recul par
that
rapport
when we look
à
back
l'histoire, finalement, ceux qui ont
to
créé
the
la
history,
fondation,
those
ceux
who
qui ont
created
développé
the
la
foundation,
tous mes
those who
prédécesseurs,
developed it, all the
avaient
teachers, all
cette
the
intuition,
professors
cette vision
had this
qu'il
vision
était absolument nécessaire
that it was
d'avoir
absolutely
ce
imagined to
pilier
have
durable,
imperative to
sûr,
have this
pérenne
durable
pour l'avenir
pillar
de notre
for
école,
the
parce qu'on
future
n'est
of
jamais
our
sûr de
school,
qui d'autre
because
va
you
valider,
are never
finalement,
sure of
HEC.
what the future will
Et
bring.
donc, je voudrais quand même en
And so I would
profiter
like to take this
pour
opportunity
saluer
to
la présence d'un certain nombre de
acknowledge
personnes ce soir.
the
Donc, je voudrais,
former
je crois
presidents
qu'on a, si je
who are
m'abuse,
here, presidents of the association and foundation. Now, I haven't seen everybody, but I hope that I don't miss
je voudrais
anyone.
saluer évidemment Adrien
Jacques
Couret, qui est
Len,
le président actuel de l'association des anciens élèves,
current,
saluer Daniel Bernard, qui illustre prédécesseur a lancé la première grande campagne.
President of Alumni, Daniel Bernard, Jean-Marie Hen,
Jean-Luc Alavena,
also Jean-Luc Alavena, who first mobilized the graduates exactly 20 years ago.
Donc merci pour ça.
So thank you for that, for building
Je voudrais remercier évidemment tous les bénévoles parce que moi je suis là,
foundations.
en réalité j'ai autour de moi
I would also like to welcome the commitment of all the volunteers,
qui consacrent de l'énergie et du temps.
people from companies who give their time, Rémi, and all the campaign committee who do all the work. And I'm happy that they are here with us this evening, but I'd also like to thank the school because the employees do a fantastic job supporting us. Raphaëlle, who's part of the partnership with the school, working with companies and all the team of the foundation. And if Delphine and her team were not there with their energy and their professionalism behind us, then we wouldn't be making the progress that we are. And I'm very pleased with the progress that we're making and the collective effort that we've made. Okay, normally, dear President, you tell us what's next. How can we have more impact? What's happening? First of all, we have to finish this campaign. We don't want to stop when we are in such a good place. We have a lever which I think we can make better use of. President of the school, Jean-Paul Agon, is doing a great job. And I think the association and foundation can work even more closely with the school to have greater impact. And in that way, realize a shared success. We have, for example, some wonderful projects such as HEC UK House. We've flown their flag in London thanks to this joint venture, HEC Ventures. So we've done lots of things already, but we can do even more with our several thousand donors. We have an absolutely great future ahead of us in order to impact the HEC ecosystems. So I just want to conclude on that note. We have an opportunity here following a terrible accident. I'm sure that you have all heard of the fire which impacted the amphitheatre. I think we've all probably sat in that amphitheatre at some point or another. It was the biggest amphitheatre on the campus, and at the moment HEC does not have its amphitheatre. And in light of this, I think that we are going to ask you to boost and make a big effort for the school. But I think I'm going to hand over to Jean-Paul Agon. Unfortunately, he can't be with us this evening, but he has prepared a video to share with you, and I'll just add to what he has to say afterwards.
Bonsoir à tous. Il y a un an, nous étions réunis pour la soirée de la Fondation HEC et avec Eloïc et Olivier, nous vous parlions du projet campus. Cette année, je ne peux malheureusement pas être présent avec vous, mais je tenais à vous dire que ce projet avance bien. L'école vient de sélectionner 4 équipes candidates qui vont commencer la compétition. La décision finale est attendue pour fin 2024, suivie de réalisations qui seront conduites par phase jusqu'en 2029. Évidemment, comme vous, j'étais très attaché à notre amphi Blondeau, qui datait de la création du campus à Jouy et qui a été un repère fort pour nous tous qui avons étudié et vécu sur le campus. Il est aujourd'hui à reconstruire entièrement. Bien sûr, dans le cadre du projet du futur campus, la rénovation du Blondeau était prévue en même temps que celle de l'ensemble du bâtiment des études. Mais le destin en a malheureusement décidé autrement avec l'incendie survenu il y a 2 semaines. Et j'en profite d'ailleurs pour saluer les équipes de l'école qui ont fait preuve d'une adaptabilité remarquable pour gérer cette situation. Aujourd'hui, il ne s'agit plus d'une rénovation, mais d'une réinvention afin de redonner à cet amphi une place encore plus centrale au cœur du campus. Et nous en ferons une priorité dans le cadre du projet qui démarrera en 2025. Un amphithéâtre plus beau, plus grand, plus incontournable, qui fera le lien entre notre héritage et notre futur. Vos dons, vous le savez, sont très importants pour l'école. Et dans le cadre du projet campus, nous aurons vraiment besoin de la mobilisation de chacun de vous. Nous appelons d'ores et déjà votre soutien dans cette première phase du projet et j'espère que vous serez nombreux à saisir l'opportunité de façonner un nouvel amphi magnifique. Nous avons ici une très belle occasion de travailler tous ensemble pour le bien d'HEC dans une dynamique fédératrice et vraiment un esprit One HEC. Les synergies entre les équipes de l'association, de la fondation et de l'école sont de plus en plus fortes et nombreuses et vous en prendrez la mesure au fil de la soirée et dans les mois à venir. Je compte sur vous, sur votre mobilisation et vous dis à très bientôt. Merci beaucoup.
Olivier, tu veux nous dire si nous avons décidé quelque chose en particulier?
Could you maybe tell us if we have decided anything in concrete terms? Yes, absolutely.
Ça a été très vite.
It has all moved very quickly because the fire happened just over 2 weeks ago. The school has decided
de construire un nouvel amphi
rebuild
au cœur de l'école, un amphi beaucoup plus grand.
Much bigger amphitheatre to make it the heart of the school. The size of the school has changed. We are looking for an 840-seat amphitheatre, almost double of the current amphitheatre. As we see at HEC, we have learned to dare, so we are not going to build the amphitheatre of yesterday together. We are going to build the amphitheatre of tomorrow for the next 30 years. So we're going to launch a subscription in the years in the weeks to come. I'm going to give you the opportunity to put your name on one of the seats in the amphitheatre, and so to reserve a seat in the new amphitheatre, which will be at the heart of the HEC campus. That will be getting started in the next couple of days. So don't forget to check your emails. Have your mouse ready to click on the site. We're going to go together, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to mobilize the whole community. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, Olivier. Thank you for giving us your time and for the engagement and commitment to HEC. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to invite Eloïc Peyrache, the school's General Director, to come on stage and give us a bit of a deep dive into the school at the moment to understand the impact of our donations and to speak about the priorities and the needs of the school. And it's true that Eloïc often talks about the 4 pillars of the school. If you don't know what they are, then we have to learn them. It's the capacity to develop talent, the ability to accelerate innovation, the ability to create research that changes the world and spread that, and something which is very important to us are all the initiatives. Lots of them are linked, and maybe we can talk about 1 or 2 which have been really important this year. For example, amongst the 4 pillars of the school. So if we start with developing talent, what could you tell us about this?
Allez, on y va. Et bonsoir à toutes et à tous. Ça fait vraiment très plaisir de vous retrouver dans ces temps un peu troublés. La force du collectif qui s'est beaucoup exprimée sur le campus, mais la force du collectif, elle s'exprime aussi ce soir. Donc, voilà, merci.
So it's great to be with you at this very difficult time for our campus. So it's great to be here in this fantastic theatre. Effectively, we have 4 pillars that we've mentioned before. The first is concentration of talent. We know before that Olivier said we have 130 nationalities on our campus. It's fantastic to have fantastic students from all around the world. So much talent is arriving, and we have talent which remains for the whole career. So we have a lot of subjects which drive all of this to implement a transformation of the academic program of the school, which is supported by the SNO, as we know that they are here today. We've spoken about Chamonix, all of the students from Chamonix, they have the Mer de Glace, the glaciology, and we understand this phenomenon that comes as well. And then also on the campus they have an obligatory course on planetary movements, which we've recruited François Germain. He's a great tutor on the subject of climate change and migration, and he has set up this new course. It's fantastic on a business school to really offer the opportunities to be able to develop and progress organizations that we work alongside, but it's fundamental to speak their language. So nowadays the students have to speak they have to talk about technology, climate, and all of the different languages to be able to create the dimensions and have collective action. So after 100% of our students for the first year will spend time in companies, so they're on site. We're going to wait a little bit more and we'll accompany them with great companies and work on this dimension of society impact. And they will look at repetitive tasks, which may be larger or smaller, and they will understand the day-to-day of people who manage tasks which are perhaps a little bit boring sometimes, a little less satisfying, but which are absolutely key, because that's how the company advances. So that is new, that is part of the curriculum that our students follow, and at the same time the idea is also HEC is a society awareness company. We look at the future of democracy, scientific, technological, because to be able to have the ability to have a vision of tomorrow as a collective, we have to understand these great challenges. As well as we have a reformation, it's in progress. Olivier was saying before, part of the funds will go towards the pedagogical projects, and on a certain number, this is a particular dimension which is key, and HEC must be very well positioned there. So on research, can you talk about one initiative in particular? So research. So in the past, I understood from time to time I heard people say we're going to do research, it's important for the ranking. So I don't really want to link this idea. Well, if we don't do research, it's because if we're going to do research, it's because that allows all of us to understand the world better, and researchers want to be connected and influencing. They want to be connected to big global challenges, and they also want to really understand ways of getting over certain difficulties. There's an initiative which we have as part of us, which is the Impact Company Lab. So this is a great initiative, and this is what we do together inside companies who have who need data from researchers. So the great estimation, there's about a billion number of dollars, and we are able to measure the impact. So we have difficulty measuring impacts. We have researchers, particularly, they're experts in measuring impact, and the idea is that they take intelligence in this subject, that they are able to recover this data and analyze it scientifically, and analyze the impacts of these initiatives, these investments, and the companies will be able to have a different vision of the commitments that they might have. So once we've done that, And we've all of this is supported, so thank you. It's the capacity of ecosystems to be able to do things like that. So the idea is that to be able to share the results, to be able to make the collective progress, because we might get to a point where so many initiatives might not work or might not work in certain contexts. And so then we can incubate projects. The society can have more of an impact because they are recovered by other companies. So the Impact Company Lab, that is focusing on impact. It has close link with companies, and it shows the interest of researchers on the front line from HEC to really understand things better. So a third dimension about the HEC community's innovation. So we know we have many entrepreneurs. We've chosen to direct a great amount of our entrepreneurial plan in the HEC. Can you tell us what has changed in this program? So effectively, entrepreneurship, or we've just spoken about the dynamic about it, it's incredible. So earlier, Olivier was saying we have 330 incubators. So with certain students, young students in 2007 who really benefited from this. So there was a little room and there were 6 little rooms. So we know where they are. We've selected around 10% of those who are presented. We've launched programs and they're very technological. So we have to have space and link to data, and there has to be a real will to create these hubs. So I think it was Guillaume who talked about it. We launched the HEC Startup Launchpad in 2016. So the idea was, regardless of the major that you've done, MBA, master, whatever, leave your program and return to it in 11 weeks later, completely dedicated to the creation of companies. So HEC entrepreneurs, there's many people who do it, but the majority in finance, strategy, marketing. So leave your master and come back to it later. There's 320 projects which were supported, many students engaged, startups. So young people who had an idea on the campus were also present on the incubator. So they had their funds, etc. So the launchpad is that, and a moment when we talk about it, we have around 70, 74 who are still here. They haven't yet graduated. But that has been a massive transformation. But the launchpad is the first phase. There's a lot of field work, looking for data, and we have an idea. Then we have design sprint, and we're going to put their value. So this is really looking at sales, and then the first generated by the project. So this is extremely intense as a program. This allows us to have a much more solid team to support this project. There are around 50 students who are enrolled in this program. The objective is to internationalize it as well. So we started thanks to Link, who had an agreement with NYO, who come to HEC for an exchange period with the program, but you have to have your eyes wide open for this to work. So we said, no, we haven't got that, and on this program, it's unbelievable. So that's good for us as well. It was a comfort, and that it was a good time, and to have students, these institutions, links with America, to have the possibility to come and do exchanges. So we have students. So we internationalize also this launchpad. The idea is to have much more of the community involved. We have many investors that give their time, and we will speak much more about that later. And that we'll talk about that tonight. And this is a real change in dimension. Many projects, better projects, much more international, and a sign of a much more committed committee. So last but not least, equal opportunities. Well, you're passionate about that, right? Yes, so this is a project. This is something that's really ongoing. So Olivier spoke about bursaries offered to students in preparation classes with great ambition, but it's exactly the same thing. It's a project which is called Eloquentia at HEC, and perhaps we'll give a donation at one point. So this is a competition for students in preparatory classes. I don't know whether you've seen the documentary about this. I've seen it. I was really touched by it. And yeah, I thought it was fantastic. And we're going to do the same thing. So I said this to Stéphane. So we have a selection in France, in Marseille. So there are around several hundred students from Marseille and other cities in different places, and we selected 115 to come to the campus, and they received training, and they had many different tutors, and then we had semi-finals, finals, then we had the final here on the campus, and so that was in July. And then this year we decided, a few years ago, we decided to do a grand final in Cigales. So every 15 days we had a great amphitheatre here. It was 15 years, 15 days, and then we have the 6 finalists, and then we have 900 people in the theatre, 900 people. And they were people who's journalists, alumni. We had 6 students between 15 and 18 years old who were products, and they had, before this, they had to produce and introduce subjects in front of the whole audience, individually and then collectively. We had to, and then the best is yet to come. So this was really exciting. It was very, very impressive. 4 out of 6, no mark, 8 minutes without any mark, without any scripts. So it was a 15-year-old who won, a young girl, and she came from a school in Marseille, and I think that by doing that, we have an incredible capacity to exchange on their ambitions, talk about their ambitions, everything that they have learned during their school life, everything that we can do for them. And these were all initiatives supported by the foundation. And so many of them, old students, came back. They were working in medicine and in startups, stand-ups, and journalism, and all this was possible thanks to you. So thank you so much for supporting these initiatives. Thank you for this little summary, very, very quick. You can continue for hours and hours, but we haven't really got time for that anymore. So thank you very much, Eloïc, and well done. So Eloïc, he's going to stay for now, so we'll be able to talk to him a bit later. So obviously, as Olivier said, 50% of the funds allocated to the school's projects are dedicated to funding equal opportunities and programs and schemes which promote that in HEC Paris, to discover people who are supported by you, whether
accepté de partager leur parcours avec nous.
About
Mais avant de les retrouver, on avait
so before meeting those who have benefited from that, we have a little visual capsule and
La bourse a été un énorme coup de pouce au départ, puisqu'elle m'a
so this was great at the start because it allowed me to fund a part of my studies. Nowadays, I think that the future is much calmer and it will help me, and I couldn't have done this on my own.
And how many things that I've experienced. So it's been a very incredible journey.
La fondation a joué un rôle très important dans mon parcours.
This has really played a great role in my life, and the funding has really supported me. I'll really remember this forever. So thank you very much.
Thanks to these donors, because I'm coming from a developing country, and I hesitated whether I should go to HEC because it was a bit expensive, but this support really helped me.
J'ai vu des Allemands, des Français, des Libanais.
I saw Lebanese, they came to the campus. I saw the world in Paris and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So what I remember the most is the most human experience that I had, the relationships we created. I hope that I'll be able to hold on to that for a very long time. I'll never forget what HEC gave me in many years' time. I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I'm so proud with your impact, and I will apply this in my future life. So this is a real pleasure to be able to welcome Abdallah Semei, who was one of the finalists in summer camp, Sarah, you come before. Sarah, who will graduate in 2024. She's come to the end of her studies, and who is a fellow from the Pacte Afrique program, and she's not ready to. Justin, who will graduate in 2026, so not just yet, and Fatoumata, who participates in the HEC Stand-Up Women's Entrepreneurship program in 2022, so you're certified, and you've co-founded Beauté Innée, the first cosmetics brand that uses artificial intelligence to precisely define the tailor-made treatment that really suits you. So I think we have specialists in the room, so we'll talk about that later. So Abdallah, over to you.
Vous m'entendez bien? Okay,
can you hear me? Yeah?
Alors, bonjour à tous.
So, hello everybody. I hope you're all very well. It's great to see everybody here together. It's been quite complicated to get us together, but it's great to be here. So I was lucky enough to study in HEC. It was an incredible experience, and to form relationships with people, and I was lucky to be part of this family of HEC during a week, and being on the campus was an experience that allowed me to believe that it was possible. It made me want to come to HEC after my back, so I was able to do a double diploma, and to be on the campus allowed me to project myself and to be able to see, yes, it is possible. Olivier, you were talking about this green platform. This was I really grew during this experience, so thank you so much. So the atmosphere with the other young people was incredible. I really enjoyed this week immersed on the campus. If I had come home in the evening, I wouldn't have lived the experience in the same way. And I had projects to do on holidays, and it was incredible. I think that it had a real big impact, and I created such great bonds with other people. So today, I would like to thank you all. Thank you really from the bottom of my heart to all of the donors from HEC. Thank you, because your support, it has a real impact on the life of so many young people, and that's allowed me personally to believe that anything is possible. So thank you so much. presenting our text in front of 850 people in this legendary room, like the cicada, was not easy. Doing like now, and the people captivated me, and I loved that. Speaking with people, looking at them smile, looking at them laugh, sometimes cry, and this is really a unique experience that we had the chance to live with Charlotte, Faima, Emma, Ruben and Jassia. I'd like to thank you. It's thanks to you, and all of this support, it wouldn't have been the same without it, and it would not allow 80 young people to come to campus every summer without the foundation, so thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup. Sarah, est-ce que tu veux poursuivre?
So, Sarah, you next.
Bonsoir à tous.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sarah Kwame. I am from the Ivory Coast, and I am from the Pact Afrique program. So I did my entire school career in the Ivory Coast, and my journey has been marked by a growing passion for the impact I could have on my community and the world. During my studies, I was an agricultural engineer. I worked alongside dedicated farmers, men and women who put their hearts and soul into the land. But I understood that their challenges were not limited to the agricultural techniques. They needed resources, access to finance to grow their farms, and voices to be heard and understood by investors. It was then that I felt a deep call to become that voice, to help these extraordinary people create better futures for themselves and their communities. But I knew that in order to do that, I had to master the complexities of finance, needed to acquire the skills to understand their business models and to mitigate financial risks. So how could an Ivory Coast student become a HEC Paris student? So it was a question that concerned me. It was at this point that Pact Africa Equal Opportunity Programme emerged as a lamp on my journey. It gave me the opportunity to perfect my professional projects, prepare for admission tests, and get personalised support for interviews. It also allowed me to have professional support. So Pact Afrique was not just a program, it was a bridge towards my dreams. Thanks to Pact Afrique, I was able to discover HEC Paris, this magnificent campus in Juillet-en-Josas, and I was able to meet people from all around the world, each with their own story and vision. So now I'm in my last year of my master's degree in management, in finance, and I would like to express my deep gratitude to you, the donors. It is thanks to your generosity and your belief in equal opportunities that I've been able to write this new chapter of my story. You've been so generous. I'd like to thank you. You've opened doors, expanded horizons, and made dreams come true. You are leaders in equal opportunities, architects of change, and we'll write a story that will mark Africa and the world. So I'm convinced that this will be the case. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Sarah.
Bonsoir à tous. Merci beaucoup d'être
So, hello everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I'm Justin Martin. I'm 20 years old and I come from a small village in Cevennes, and I'm here among you as an HEC student. So, in Paris. So, the path not all traced for me, far from it. Before my father died around 6 years ago, I was a mason. My mother did not go to university. She was a secretary of the village town hall. So my brother was entering business school, but this path was not the most obvious. So I was barely accepted to preparatory class in Montpellier. I discovered Fleur de Vie 2-minute support programs for preparatory students. I followed the programs funded by the foundation for 1 year. Then the second year was the prep program. This program helped students applying to Parisian schools to prepare for competitions. And Irene Rodriguez, my tutor for 2 years, a student today in M2, helped me, gave me confidence and supported me until the competition competitions, and when I had to and this link is still active today thanks to the school, thanks to links that we were able to forge with the program. The foundation allowed me to believe in myself, to believe that yes, HEC is an option for me. I received a mobility grant to be able to present myself to the competitions, and I learned that the foundation also paid part of the tuition fees of HEC scholarship students, which are reduced by more than a quarter today. And I couldn't believe it, honestly, without thinking about the obstacles that might come on the way to the campus. When I finally got there, now at HEC, the foundation allows me to fully experience the HEC life which you have lived and which I intend to benefit from as much as possible. I would like to commit myself, especially having a tutor in Fleur de Bitume tutoring program that I've followed, and I'm now in charge of it. I'm captain of the HEC basketball team, president of UniRun, and a member of BDE. I share unforgettable moments with... Thank you. What a fantastic experience at HEC, right? Really, it's been an amazing experience. And all of this, I'd just like to tell you that thanks to the foundation, I've had all of these experiences and all these programs, the alumni gala and events like tonight. Without you, without the donations, I would not be here tonight. I would not have these opportunities or to have moments like this. Thank you so much. And I thank you for your donations, and this really has allowed me to grow and make HEC possible for me. Fatoumata.
Alors oui, Fatoumata.
Okay, so Fatoumata, over to you. Absolutely. So I'm so honored to be here around you, with you today. I co-founded a little while ago a company, a startup, and I co-founded it with my two sisters who've been able to benefit from a magnificent campaign and with a program and HEC Stand Up. So HEC Stand Up really helped us, and it really woke us up to public funding, and it's allowed us to be here today. It's not easy for many women like me to take action, and a year ago I wouldn't have been able to, so to creating a startup that was incubated. This has been incubated. I'd just like to give a few words about this. It's the first institution of skincare products, and really look at simple products, and we have 5 or 6 photos, and thanks to the very specific questions we are able to give you in real time recommendations for products tailored to you and which will give you immediate results. So that's thanks to my sister who's an analyst and my other who's a statistician. We have a really great startup, and we also have the ways to value all of this, and to so we started with HEC Stand Up. It's an opportunity which is fantastic. It's allowed us to do a lot. It's a great program which has allowed us and allowed us to challenge ourselves. Natalie, I'd like to thank you, she's here in the room today, to challenge our ideas. Challenge our ideas because obviously with everything we do in entrepreneurship, we need to challenge our limits and of our entrepreneurship and go beyond every day. So this has a specific characteristic. It's allowed us to transfer a simple idea and to generate revenue. And within the stand-up community, it allows us to
On vous pousse à continuer, à donner, parce qu'aujourd'hui, il y a des milliers de femmes qui se révèlent au quotidien.
Nowadays, we have many women who are creators also of new jobs, and nowadays,
on arrive aussi à satisfaire un maximum de clients.
We want to satisfy a maximum amount of clients. So I'm going to finish because I've gone over a little bit. Dear donors, thank you so much. You've had such a considerable impact on our initiative, HEC Stand Up,
de toutes les participantes
and
à réussir ce programme et à mettre tout en œuvre pour réussir
really
de création d'entreprise.
fund all of our thank you so much. Thank you so much for this support, which is invaluable. Thank you infinitely. Thank you to you. So thank you for sharing your journey with us, and good luck for the rest of your journey. So I would like to thank all of the teams of the business school, because all of these programs are possible thanks to the energy and the commitments of people who work in the school, and they work for the school. And so the equality, equal opportunities, it's something we're really focused on. So you're very committed, and the international management contributes as well to deploy projects such as Pacte Afrique. And I think that it's very important to thank you for that. So after this sequence, which testifies to the strong impact that we can have on HEC students, we're now going to look at another sequence, another form of commitment. So 3 companies who, through sponsorship, have the desire to work for the common good through HEC. I'm now calling on Raphaëlle Gautier, Executive Director of Corporate Partnerships and Public Funds, to join me in facilitating this roundtable sequence, which I will thank the participants, the executive for and a few years now, and who will be with us every day. Okay, over to you.
Merci de mettre à l'honneur les entreprises mécènes de la Fondation et également des entreprises partenaires d'HEC Paris. Bonsoir à toutes et à tous.
Good evening, everyone.
Ici, dans cette salle magique qu'est la salle Gaveau et également en ligne.
Welcome to the Gaveau Hall, and good evening to everyone online. This year has been particularly significant in terms of corporate patrons. Just to give you a few examples, amongst our 40 partner companies, what's happened.
Certaines ont soutenu HEC par un don transformationnel,
received over
notamment Schneider Electric et
€120
Markets. Certaines ont renouvelé ou créé une chaire de recherche ou une corporate initiative.
Renewed and continued to
Rothschild & Company, Nexans. Infrastructure partners,
support us. I'd like to mention XTX Markets, Schneider, CMC, CMG, L'Oréal as well, others.
J'aimerais remercier chaleureusement toutes les entreprises partenaires.
I'd like to thank all our partner companies.
Leur soutien, votre soutien,
their support, your support, at each time unique and precious for the economy and the effect that it can have, for the alumni, the pupils and the teachers, to give us all new perspectives. And just to illustrate this engagement and commitment, I'd like to invite 3 guests on time to share with us their view of HEC Paris. First of all, Gwenaelle Avice Huet, Managing Director of Europe Operations, Schneider Electric. She is one of the 7 main sponsors. Also, a representative from Nexans,
dont le but est d'accompagner les entreprises sur la voie de la durabilité. La chaire est dirigée par le professeur Sébastien Becker. Enfin, Hervé Hélias, président du groupe Mazars. Mazars est partenaire depuis 2011.
Hervé Hélias, Chairman and Executive Chief Officer of Mazars, who has given some leadership around multi-capital governance. So thank you all 3 of you for coming on stage this evening. I think something that unites us all to HEC is ESG, and the uniqueness of each of your partnerships is something that we'd like to talk about. Perhaps you could speak to us about Schneider Electric and HEC Gwenaelle. First of all, just to put us in the context, this partnership started over 10 years ago and has evolved over time. It started 10 years ago with a meeting in Bangladesh between HEC and Madiamus, a famous economist and entrepreneur who created the first microcredit. Why am I mentioning that? Because that's a key step in our durable and sustainable approach. How can we have the biggest impact possible? We wanted to create the most transversal project as possible that would give concrete responses to the needs of society. And we now at the end of this placement in Bangladesh, we put in place a project that we wanted to give 5 million people access to energy. And I think that's a really admirable objective. In the same way, 1 million people, young people who we've given access to training in the energy subjects between now and 2025. This is another objective which pushes us all over the world, giving access to energy and training. Why is that important for us to tell you that? Because when we think about sustainable development, we think about commitment to carbon and the environment, and that's important. But sustainable development is very transversal, and that's what can allow companies to continue to exist for the future. And so over time, we have realized that sustainable development is endless. It's an infinite project. We have decided to give a further impulse last year to give our approach another dimension, and we are looking into deep tech. First point, international, and second element, artificial intelligence, and third, well, we wanted to look at the different countries that around the world. Our global organization in China, in USA, in Europe. So for us it's very important to capitalize on a human resource and the diversity of our company in order to bring out the most in terms of inclusivity for sustainable development. Over time, we were talking about labs earlier. The first lab was Impact Company Lab. How can we have an impact? We can be very convinced of it ourselves and be very committed to it ourselves as a company, but how do we get young students on board, teachers on board, when they challenge us? That's a real impact. So that's the first one. The second lab is the creative destruction. Why would we create and destroy? It's a question of putting in place ecosystems. When we have a large group, it's important to have this connection to challenge. And this is CDL is our second lab, and the other part of the picture is the executive teaching training, and with the teachers and organisation of HEC, again we are asking them to challenge us on our image of society. So just to say that all began in Bangladesh, it's taken an absolutely amazing development with the HEC ecosystems. And Christophe, can you tell us something about the experience, a partnership with Nexans? We are one of the rare industrial companies who has not given ourselves an objective of growth. Since 2018, COVID was an accelerator for us. As we were saying, we are having a health crisis, income crisis, margin crisis, and then so if we don't have cash, then we have a social crisis as well. So over the last 10 years, we have been profiling our clients in lots of strategic criteria in terms of risk, in terms of environment. And so we used COVID, as the Chinese say, we have turned the crisis into an opportunity. In less than 4 months, we found 13 new clients, and we think that in the business books that we've all read or we're still reading today, there are very few models where they try to reduce the number of customers, but we've done that. We've reduced our client base by 80%. So we are not growing at all. We have increased our profitability by 2%. Over 3 years, we've moved from 9% to 23%. It's a kind of austerity which can generate profitability. All the analytical models are based on growth, and so they can't understand how we can achieve profitability. But this economic transformation has allowed us to have a virtuous approach. In less than 3 years, we have reduced our carbon output by 35%. We said to ourselves, we have to create the model, but is there training available for our managers immediately, whether in Europe or in the USA? From a point of view of the 3 Ps, profit, people, planet, we looked around the world and found that there is very little sharing of this model. So at the moment, our business models are based on the 3 E's, economy. I'm sure that a large American company will come and steal our idea, but we've said that what we have to be able to do is to share this experience through the academic path. And so by chance at Radio France Relais, I met Eloïc from HEC, then I met the committee and realized that they really wanted to participate in the creation of this new model. And I'd just like to quote Voltaire, which might seem a bit old-fashioned, but in an avalanche, no snowflake is responsible, and yet we are all responsible for the avalanche. So we all have some responsibility to take, and that's why Nexans is looking for super performance without generating carbon. And in terms of sharing value across our employees, we are working with the HES Nexans model, which will be available in a few months. Thank you, Christophe. If I can pass over to you, Hervé. The partnership with Mazars is our most recent. I just want to say, first of all, that I'm very happy to be with you this evening. It's the first time that Mazars has embarked on an entrepreneurial path. I'm very happy that it's with HEC, and I'm very happy that it's on sustainable development. Mazars has been supporting the idea for a very long time that performance, that the value of a company is not just related to its financial results, but there are other aspects and other ways to create value. Of course, we're very happy to see that the regulators, who are European, international and American, are looking at these subjects as well, are looking at the projects efforts that are going, and that allows companies to accelerate. But I do see an element of risk, which is to when we give advice to our customers, often the first thing that they say is that our first need is to be compliant with the law in 2030 or 2050, but we know that the challenge isn't there. Lots of companies are capable of transforming their strategy in order to make themselves sustainable, but what's important is to be able to change their software, to change the way that they make their decisions, so that they are no longer simply measured based on financial markers, but also in terms of their long-term performance. So the idea of this chair is to insist governance and leaders, the leaders of tomorrow, such as HEC, to gather this sense and to integrate this way of working. And that's the point of the shared purpose that we're going to build together. So we've got lots of things to invent, lots of things to discover. Thank you very much.
Alors, Eloïc, tout à l'heure, tu as évoqué les quatre
piliers. You talked about the 4 pillars. A platform for impact. All these actions, the research, teaching, innovation, plans for tomorrow, all these are undertaken in the long term. So I'd like to invite you to look forward into the long term. Perhaps, Hervé, I'll pass the microphone to you, but how do you see the school in 30 years? I think it's very difficult to look forward 3 or 4 years, let alone 30 years. But to be a little bit more serious, what are the fundamental values that the school must maintain? The first one is on an international outlook. It's a big difference between when I graduated, both in terms of recruitment that you undertake, in terms of the curriculum. There's an international dimension which you must encourage and accelerate. We have to maintain excellence. HEC is a school of excellence by its selection, by its teaching, by the research that it undertakes. And I agree that research also is also part of its excellence. And we must also accelerate the diversity of the school. We've heard some fantastic testimonies, but I think we need to accelerate that, and I think the school must also keep in mind they need to accelerate the development of the French economy. It's one of the great French schools, and the challenge is to make France a great country in the world economy. Okay. And Gwenaelle, if I can just ask you for your opinion. Well, the answer is to look back 30 years ago. Did we talk about artificial intelligence back in 1990? Did we talk about biodiversity and climate? To be honest, no, we didn't. So what will people be talking about in 30 years? If we are looking 30 years, I think we'll be in a world that is accelerating. So the objective of the school, I think, is to capture these signs. I think one indication is that the under 25-year-olds in the world will, for a large part, be Africans. So I think we have to look at diversity. We have to support them. We must not resist or be afraid of diversity. I think there's lots of questions about artificial intelligence. I think we have to organize, orchestrate, and not be afraid of it. And I think the challenge for HEC is to be able to stay ahead of the curve and see that in 30 years' time, in 2050, if we believe all the commitments that we have heard, the world will be decarbonized. And yet, we can see that that won't be the end of the story. And Christophe, well, 30 years, I think for the school and for France in general, it's the same. It's to break the chains so that the business and the school meet together. I think in 20 years, and already today, I think we need a new imagination. We need a new storytelling for the school. For each student and each employee in businesses, I think we have to talk about silos. I think we have to look at whether all the programs and see if we all meet on economy, commitment, company, and I think that the company and the school must participate as builders, as constructors, as reinventors. We can see that the world's in a crisis at the moment, and we are in a phase of reinvention and recreation. And I think business and the school both participate in that. Thank you very much for your reflection. Thank you, all three of you, for your respective companies, for your commitment. Thank you for joining us this evening, all three of you. And I think that might inspire you. I'd like to say that to achieve great things, we must not only plan, but also believe, not only wish, but also to act. Thank you. Thank you, Raphaëlle. Thank you, all three visitors, for your support and for sharing your thoughts this evening.
Alors, tous ces soutiens-là, évidemment,
sont
tout à fait transformants.
Of course, these levels of support are transformative, but all donations are important. And if we all do our bit, we can have a very powerful impact. And it's in the spirit of this collective effort that we are delighted to welcome Adrien Gronier, Rémi Buttiaux, who was president of the committee of the campaign. Before they come on stage, I'd like to invite you to three people who have mobilized their efforts. And it's time for a video.
Vous voulez commencer? Non?
Vas-y, c'est toi qui commence. C'est plus frais chez toi.
Ouais, c'est vrai.
Nous, c'était une éternité. Hein.
Avec une équipe d'étudiants.
We had a team of students which organised a class dinner for all of the cohort before graduation. So this was just the night before the graduation ceremony. It was a cocktail party dinner for charity. All the funds went to the HEC Foundation, and we had around 400 people. And so 90,000 euros were raised. So we can thank them for that. We've been able to fund two new students. So it's really impressive what Elise has done. I think it's great that you were able to do that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So 10 years on from my graduation, I explained my commitment to my cohort around what was really interesting is that this is the duration, how they can continue contributing within their means. So with my friend Christophe Babu, who works with me at L'Oréal, we got together with all the alumni who work at L'Oréal for a great evening. We got to get together with several different generations working at L'Oréal. And we had Eloïc Peyrache, we had people from the foundation, we had two great bursary students who explained their journeys, a little bit similar to what Elise did. we were just short of 100,000 euros. For me, it's important to allow students to live that, to benefit from all the opportunities, everything that HEC can offer. I think we have a responsibility to HEC to have access, to make it as democratic and equal as possible. That's very important for me. The school has changed my life, and I want HEC to be accessible to other people. I want to share opportunities with those who didn't have that to begin with. So think of your life on campus, your social life, and the interesting courses you were able to attend, all the experiences that you had at HEC. I think it's important to prosper and to help future students to have access and financial assistance. So you're responding to a call from the school. The school needs your donations. They need you. And you will have very specific impact. By giving to the foundation, you will have an impact, a direct impact on equality of opportunities and the production of knowledge, generation of knowledge by funding bursaries. So effectively, everyone can give within their means, funding, investing in education. We invest in the future. It's exciting, this future. We learn every day. We invest in the HEC. We make this future open to everyone. If you give 1,000 every year, finally that will cost you, specifically after tax, less than 30 euros a month. So 1,000 euros, that's 2 full scholarships for students in preparatory classes who are committed to attending HEC. So young graduates can also commit to the foundation within our means, of course, giving back to the school that gave us so much. Everyone can help just a little bit, even if it's just a little donation. I think it's a challenge. We have to challenge ourselves in large and small companies. How much can you make? At L'Oréal, we had almost 100,000 euros. How much are you going to get? So thank you, Adrien. Thank you very much, Alexis. Thank you very much, Elise. Thank you, Nicolas, for all of your support. So bounce back on the video of the 3 generations. So hi everybody. So I'm Rémi and I worked on this campaign. I'm very, very happy to see this video. It's magnificent. It's a video that is really about investing in the and I would like to go back to something that Alexis was talking about. He's talking about engagement and commitment within the foundation. We talk about L'Oréal and other companies which will allow them to be more significant. This is something that we do a lot in the foundation and which works really, really well. So you are all generous donors. Thank you so much. And you are perhaps in companies where there are many, many other HEC alumni. So we're all there. Delphine, Hélène, Adrien, Audrey, you all know each other from the foundation who are here. Come and meet us. We're really used to organizing events like this. It works really well with lots to discuss. I'll take some example. In L'Oréal, tomorrow, in November, we're going in Ibai. Then we have another one which has been organized as well in December. So there'll be a series of events which are going to be organized, and that really works well. So I'd like to go back to a point that to give a figure about this. So Olivier was saying the campaign, we're quite happy, it works well. We have an objective of 100,000 euros and we still have a lot of the campaign left on. So we're quite far away from this. So another figure, we have 4,500 and between 4,500 and 500 have contributed. We can do better than that. We have 73,000 alumni. We can definitely do better. And I think we have a lot more potential than this. So in a context where for us we are in money time, so we have the video here talking about the fiscal benefits which we have in France. We get to the end of the financial year. This is the time when people are interested in making donations. So there's So will you be able to give something to us? So if you be able to give something, can you convince people around you? And I would like to propose organizing events before the end of the year. We have this objective of 100,000 euros. It is going to be possible to do it. So I'm now going to hand over to Hélène. I think you want to talk about mobilization. Yes, thank you, Rémi. You've said a lot. I would like to talk about collective mobilization, which is very important for us. Very important for us. And so perfect. So one slide. So let's have a look carefully at this slide. If your cohort is not here, then you have still got some work to do, right? So often it's on the anniversaries of cohorts graduation. The class spokesman said, yes, I would like to organize a donation, a collective donation for the foundation. And I would like to greet the cohorts who help us so much for that. So
what I
like with this slide is that you can see it's very intergenerations. If we look particularly at the middle column, the cohorts that graduated in 2011, 2010, 2012, we have the we have 2009, Julien, who really mobilizes them over time. And I would also like to greet the mobilization of the MBA 2016 program. We don't have a lot of MBA donators, and this is a great program. So this is really donations, as you can see, who they give to the foundation. We're talking about intergeneralization. Here there's a cohort to the right, who this is the class of 67. This was called the Pacaret, the program which topped the ranking, and this year it's their 60th anniversary of being on the campus.
De la rénovation et la reconstruction du campus.
They've been able to witness the innovation and reconstruction of the campus. So each year, they have to open a collection page. So this giving something they've asked, they've given loyally every year with all of their promotion to the promotion. So what they've shown us is we have the students, the youngest, who are really mobilized as well. For class gift, Elise spoke about that in the video. And I would like to also greet particularly the companies. I think there are many of them who are here tonight who contacted us, telling us that it was important for them to give to the foundation, and thanks to them we can fund a bursary for a student, and they've been able to fund accommodation for students who are going to spend their time on the campus. So these are the oldest cohorts who are here. This is intergeneralization, and we're so moved by that. So Adrien, the president of the association, so what does this slide say to you? With the promotion of 2007. So we'll talk about that when we have I'm so happy to be with you tonight. So thanks to the foundation, it's absolutely exceptional for all of the collaboration that we've been able to do between the association and the foundation. What I remember from tonight is that we have a million reasons to commit to the foundation and to the school. We've seen effectively bursary, equal opportunities, research, pedagogy. But I'd like to go back to a reason that Olivier Sevillia talked about earlier, which is for me the donations. So this is the raising awareness, which is a little bit later for the school is balancing with its model. Economic model. So the raising awareness that our school, which is fantastic, can, with results in the ranking in Financial Times, which will now, as Olivier said before, it's unbelievable. So you know, everybody who works in business, that this doesn't exist. So now we are. We need more mobilization than ever from all of our community. So that was what Rémi was talking about earlier. And we have work which is very, very narrow. And also we have a venture, so the next big next step for this mass mobilization of the community is many alumni, about 5,000 donators. We looked at the class gift today. And our common, so one HEC is the framework. We have many synergies that we can find, so we have to make people understand, our former students understand, well, we're still an HEC, we can't say former students. And so the question of donations, give back, regardless of the reason, is a major element. And in the way of doing things, we have a situation which obliges us. So it's the reconstruction. This is a project of repair over the last years and the 30 to come. This is our moment. Notre Dame de Paris, this is the symbol of Notre Dame de Paris. This gives us the opportunity. Everybody needs to do a sign, not a financial sign, but showing that when we announce HEC, we are an HEC one day and HEC always. And now I would like to ask this for Olivier and for me. Thank you very much. So we prepared a little surprise.
Avec la
with the complicity of a student. So this is a little video, Madislam, and I don't know whether you know what slam is. I am not too familiar with the concept, but we've done a version, video version, and finally we think that would be great. It's a student. And it will help us. And so I'm happy to announce Edouard, and who is a student in the HEC, who is going to... I will hand over to Edouard. Unleashing talent, celebrating excellence, running to the future, fostering knowledge, initiate and live together, stop and take time. Live the present moment to inspire the next, nurture diversity and diversities, act for equal opportunities, give wings to the desires of those people who want to change the world, starting with oneself. Liberate ourselves from boundaries, grow and shift the walls. Build a campus, a shared asset for the future in this nerve centre, designed to gather all together. May the light pour through the classrooms, may these roads along which knowledge passes on become avenues to infinity. Walk the corridors of learning once more. Develop awareness of the world around us. Provide solutions and bring fulfillment to each day. Push the boundaries of the road to be mapped, exploring the path to success between the blue arch, azure sky, forest and looking glass lake. Driving knowledge and supporting innovation becomes more than a simple duty, and with tact, make an impact on the world. rethink the fundamentals, encounter, strive endlessly to convince, make the scope of possibilities a country and an anthem, we will add greatness to the minute. For a common project, for unreserved awareness and sharing, take greater pride in progress made. A great idea appears in a few words on a new page. The best is yet to come. A whole life awaits. HEC Foundation, we all have a role to play.
Et sans note, hein, bien sûr.
That was fantastic. Well done.
Tu peux nous dire de quelle promotion tu es?
So, can you tell us what cohort you're for? What are you doing? So I am a student, engineering student. I joined HEC as a double diploma with French institutions, and so I am now in second year, M2, and in majoring in finance. So. To give a little story, when I did my high school in 2016, 2017, I wanted to make retransmission videos on YouTube and I looked at some HEC videos. And so I thought, I'll be there one day. And the first thing that I thought about when I got my letter from HEC was, that's great, I have to find a way to do everything that I do. But thank you very much for this little present that you've given to us. I think that's the end of the evening, so I'd like to thank all of the teams, all of the speakers who've participated, so everyone from the foundation, everyone from the school, the ambassadors. I'd like the students, the speakers and the benevolent to come up onto the stage for a photo. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all for a cocktail party. Thank you very much, and good night.